So I want to start with Sam, and then I would love you all to answer this first question, which is, what has past experience with adversity taught you, and how has this prepared you to lead in this moment?
Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I, like many leaders here, have been, through a lot of different macro adversities, whether it's whether the dot bomb collapse in 2000, whether it's 9/11, whether it's the financial crisis, and even through my own business challenges, companies facing financial challenges, legal challenges, what have you. I have personally found that there's really very little to draw on from those previous experiences. And as I've reflected on why that is, I think humans struggle with ambiguity and uncertainty. And it's actually, I think, one of the biggest drivers between people who are drawn to entrepreneurship and those who aren't, is the ability to deal with that. But what we have now is we have ambiguity really on all sides of one's life. You can't just segment, okay, well, here's what's going on at work. I'm going to go home and everything is, where I feel I have quote unquote control. People are working from home, but then also looking around, and there's health concerns, there's macroeconomic concerns, there's political concerns, there's health concerns. And then you go to work and there's just more uncertainty and ambiguity. So that to me has been the biggest overall challenge in facing this particular pandemic, is how to try to provide some level of how to help reduce ambiguity for people so they can look to have something steady in their life, to try to provide some amount of certainty, too strong of a word, but some amount of stability in an otherwise unstable world.
Right. Andy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with Sam and the idea that this is unprecedented. To draw on prior experiences, they were like kind of mildly tough. This is wholly disruptive, and a tremendous sense of loss on a wide variety of sectors. And so I think he's absolutely right that you can't just look at what came before and learn from it. But I do think there are some leadership traits that we're seeing that I think are really, really important in a time of uncertainty and ambiguity. I think empathy. I think the leaders that you see that are doing well are those that have empathy and a recognition of how challenging this is for a wide variety of people, not just those for whom it is obviously challenging, but for everything. I think as much transparency as possible, again, being able to share what data you can, what you can, and being clear and showing strength. I think leaders that can and are showing that they're strong in face of this adversity give comfort to those who are facing ambiguity. And then I also think that leaders who are making decisions, but are making reasoned decisions. So it goes back to transparency. So those leaders who are stepping up and making tough calls, saying, I am making this tough call, but here's why I'm making it. Here's where I'm trying to go. I think those things help give comfort and are really the strong, really important strengths. And those are the leaders who are doing that, are the ones that you are seeing who are compelling, that you want to hear from. And we've seen that on a wide variety of levels.
Thank you, Mark.
All CEOs and leaders of organizations pull on different skill sets. Obviously, we're on unprecedented times here, so it's hard to reach down and pull for anything that you could specifically relate to this scenario. Fortunate enough for me, I spent a decade of my career working on turnaround work and crisis management. So the hard skills of business are very comfortable to me. And one of the things I've learned is you must believe in yourself and your intuition as a leader. You have to go with your gut. Things are happening very quickly. And as things change in a very rapid pace, you want to make sure that your belief in yourself and your confidence, and it's not arrogance, it's confidence, comes across to those that you are speaking with and leading. And I feel if you over communicate in these situations, both on a professional level and a personal level, people truly feel better about the circumstances they find themselves in and allow them to relate to you and allow them to help and follow you on your journey as you're transforming your organization to meet the current economic crisis as it unfolds. So as an example, it's okay if you have kids at home and they're running through your Zoom calls, or you have pets that are hopping up on the counter. That's a very human side. I often share stories about my kids. I have one son in middle school and one son in high school, and the struggles of both parents and kids in e-learning. I've made myself relatable, not because I'm intentionally trying to do that, because I too am a human being. And I think if they see you struggling as employees and they see you as a leader who has the same issues and problems, when you then have to talk to them about your business dilemmas and the actions that you've taken, it's far easier to get them to get on board and believe in you and your strategies.